CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, December 8th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. London-listed short-tail insurer Lancashire saw its stock price dip by about 11.5% at its close yesterday on the London Stock Exchange. It's up a bit earlier today in trading in London. The share price dropped with news broken earlier in the day that Peter Scales and John Lynch, the CEO and Chief Financial Officer of Lancashire Lloyd's managing agent Cathedral Capital, have been dismissed from the group. Two executives are understood to have been released from their positions last week. We noted this in the news yesterday. Sources are suggesting that the alignment of the two different distinct underwriting cultures at Lancashire and Cathedral are causing difficulties. Lancashire purchased Cathedral for £266 million in 2013. Staff at Cathedral Capital today spoke of their shock at the revelation that the chief executive and the chief financial officer have internally announced their resignations. Unconfirmed sources told Insurance Day that during conversations which occurred last week, both men informed the employees of their intention to leave. There are several internal formalities that need to be carried out before any official confirmation from the group can be made, and no internal statement has been made group-wide, so thus far this remains unofficial. British insurers may be ending up having to pay about £250 million in claims to owners of homes and businesses as a result of Storm Desmond in the northwest of England. The northwest of England has now suffered a once-in-a-century flood for the second time in only 10 years. About 5,200 properties have been affected by the weekend-long flooding. The areas that have been affected include the towns of Carlisle, Keswick, and Lancaster, as well as the Lake District National Park, which attracts millions of tourists a year. More rain hit there yesterday. A number of properties hit by flooding went up again, although the final tallies are not in yet. 5 of the 6 wettest years on record have happened since 2000, according to the Association of British Insurers. Association members are expecting a 300% increase in the number of household claims from this flood as compared to the one just in 2006. Meanwhile, Portland, Oregon is going to be facing problems as well, with the Willamette River threatening to breach its banks sometimes later this week. The city had its wettest single day on record. 3 inches of rain fell yesterday, breaking the previous record in 1996. Rescue workers have been trying to clear flooded roads and evacuate people from their homes and vehicles. Portland's combined sewer system has been badly affected. It overflowed into the Willamette River and to the Columbia River yesterday. National Weather Service has put flood warnings in effect throughout the Pacific Northwest. The rain is not expected to clear up until Thursday. Air France KLM has put the financial cost so far of the Paris terror attacks at about 50 million euros, or 54 million US. The November 13 attacks left 130 people dead in the French capital. The military action that France has been conducting against ISIS has affected local traffic to and from Paris, said the chief financial officer of the combined Franco-Dutch airline. Meanwhile, speaking of Air France, an Air France flight from San Francisco to Paris was diverted yesterday after an unspecified anonymous threat. The passengers landed in Montreal, disembarked safely. They were met by 15 fire trucks and police cars, which met Flight 83 at the Montreal airport. Air France said that after a full security search, the plane was sent back on its way. Air France apparently, after about 5 hours in the air, the pilot made an announcement that they needed to land in Montreal for technical reasons. Once they landed there, the announcement was made that there was a security incident. Yesterday, Donald Trump announced that in his presidential campaign that he would favor ceasing the entry of any and all Muslims coming into the United States. Last night, a number of the cable news networks did what they should have done quite some time ago. They switched to live footage of Trump speaking in South Carolina. The message was all too clear for anybody who happened to be watching. This is a demagogue who has no specifics, who has no knowledge of the working of the government, who's a braggart, who sits there and speaks to people who have mainly no incomes, no savings, no money, but live in fear of people taking what little they have. Trump plays to them. He's worth several $billion. Meanwhile, what he does is he spreads fear and divisiveness amongst the people in the country. Fortunately, all of his Republican opponents immediately denounced his proposal. Fortunately, his poll numbers have begun to plummet in Iowa and in New Hampshire. Fortunately, when the question is asked of those being polled, do you intend to vote? Trump's poll numbers drop even further. As expected, he is receiving rousing receptions by people who do not plan to vote, who are not educated, who are unemployed, and are expecting to receive something from nothing given by this demagogue as he continues to instill fear throughout the country. This last part was a complete editorial from me and me alone, not from the company. That's the news from today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.